Um, First of all, we just wanted to remind you of a resource that we talked about last month that we've launched as part of Let's End Poverty, which is the Neighbourhood Voices toolkit, which you can find on the Let's End Poverty website, either at the URL, so just /neighbourhood voices, or through the drop-down menu at the top. And that's an invitation to host a conversation in your local community to start to draw out, I suppose, some of the things that we've spoken about this evening from the perspective of people in your local area, to try and think about how do we amplify the voices of people who are going to be impacted by government, be impacted by policy change, and bring them into the conversation. So that toolkit gives you a kind of starting point as to how to host that conversation. And we're particularly thinking about how we might be able to reach out to people in low income communities or communities who perhaps have had their voice marginalised in conversations like this before, to create a platform from which to share and amplify those perspectives. So it might be that you feel you're not the right place or the person to hold this conversation, but you know somebody who is. You know a local project or a local church for whom that's the experience of many people, and this is something you can encourage. So just wanted to remind people that that is a resource that's out there, a tool that's out there to get started with these conversations and think about how we can feed those in to the message and the voice that we amplify as we speak out in the run up to the general election. Over to you, Pete.
Hello. So, firstly, just an update on the Dreams and Realities exhibition. The exhibition launched officially just this Sunday, being in Sheffield, which is so exciting. And there's a few people on this call that I don't think have been on before, so I'll give like a really, really brief uh, rundown of what it's all about and what we're doing with it. So the exhibition features 9 portraits of um, individuals living in Sheffield on the front line of poverty, including the artist Stephen, and depicted within the paintings are the dreams and the real, but then also the realities of the people, the subjects in the pictures. Um, but the exhibition is also a springboard to host events that include the local community and celebrate what different groups and individuals from around the local communities where they happen are doing to tackle poverty. It's also an opportunity for people, hopefully will be an opportunity for people to make new contacts, to share their lived experiences, and to speak truth to power as well, because we're inviting civic leaders and candidates to all the launch events as well. So we're going to be going around the country. So far, I've got today, actually, I just confirmed a date on it. So some of the dates are confirmed. It's gonna launch in Newcastle on May the 11th. It's going to be in Camden in London on June the 9th. And then there's a few other dates almost ready to make confirmed. But if anyone is near to either of those places or any of the other places on that list, because that's the provisional list, and wants to be a part of it, the hope, especially with the opening night, is that there'll be performances, art, choir performances, poetry, whatever anyone wants to bring, talks. So if you've got any connections on anything like that, please let me know. And actually linking to what we were talking about today, at the Sheffield launch event, there was a intergenerational choir, and it was really moving seeing people of all ages connect on the same level and give so like, and it was amazing, and kind of thinking about how we share the values that matter to us to politicians, getting candidates and MPs in the room to watch something that like that is a way of demonstrating what community looks like and why it's valuable, what solidarity looks like. And yeah, so that's what's going on with the Dreams and Realities exhibition. It's going to be in Sheffield until April 28th. So if anyone is around Sheffield at any point, please go to St Mary's, Bramall Lane, and have a look at the paintings. They're free to go and have a look at. It's open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. But it will be on around cities and places across the UK over the next few months. So hopefully everyone will have a chance to look at it wherever it is. Great. Next up, Artists for Change. So Artists for Change is the program as part of Let's End Poverty, where we're trying to encourage people to connect art and think about art and how that relates to poverty and share. And as part of this project, we're having a big launch event in Manchester at Band on the Wall on April 28th. So the tickets went on, I think the tickets officially go on sale tomorrow morning. Um, and the lineup is all but confirmed. It's going to be an 4 till 9 p.m. on Sunday, the 28th of April. So if you're near Manchester or can get to Manchester for that, please come. It's an amazing, famous old venue and very big. So we do need to sell tickets for it. But we're also going to have some stalls with some local groups doing great stuff around Manchester to try and engage the local community as well. And it'll be an opportunity to hear music, connect with new people, and think about poverty kind of in a different way, hopefully. But yeah, that's Artists for Change.
Thank you, Pete. Just a very brief update that when we last met, we shared some dates for action groups to help us think about our campaign actions and toolkits that we're planning to help us engage with candidates in particular. And so since we last met, those 3 different groups have met to think about hustings events, meeting candidates, and events planning. And so I just wanted to let you know that that was keeping going, that we've had those conversations, and this is a kind of watch this space update that hopefully in the next few months we'll have some toolkits coming out about helping you think about how you might engage with candidates in your local area. And finally, we just wanted to share that as part of another but related piece of work that some of our supporting organisations are involved with, there is a webinar happening a month today on Thursday, the 18th of April. So it's not a Thursday evening that we have an action gathering, it's the week before. That is looking at how we might engage with MPs and candidates around poverty in the UK, but also international poverty as well, and poverty overseas. And that webinar is happening in partnership with some of the organisations whose logos are on the screen, including Christian Aid, the Baptist Union, Church Action on Poverty, the Methodist Church, Trussell Trust, St Vincent de Paul Society, and the United Reformed Church. And that will be a really practical webinar thinking about what makes for a good meeting with MPs and candidates. How do we cut through perhaps some of the policy lines and the expected responses to have meaningful conversations? So we'd love to see many of you there. We'll share the link in the chat, but you can book on Eventbrite if you Google Act on Poverty. The details should come up.